Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Sydney Welch.
And I'm student meteorologist Sarah Converse.
And we are here for 30 minutes of fun-filled weather for you guys right now. So I didn't go outside until about 1 p.m. today. So Sarah, could you fill us in on what happened this morning?
I woke up and I went outside. It was a bit muggy out. It was overcast, but the wind made it feel a little bit cooler, so it was a nice balance. So, because if it wasn't windy, it would have been a little bit warmer, and if we didn't have that cloud cover, it would have been like really warm. I would have been sweating by the time I got to my classes, which I didn't. It was nice outside, so it was a good nice day. Even though it was a bit overcast, made me feel a little bit wanted to stay inside instead of going to classes. But
yeah, by the time I got outside, the clouds were gone and the sun was shining. The sun was actually beating in my face. I was sweating going halfway across campus and back, but there wasn't anything to complain about because
nothing at all.
I guess I hear that we're not going to have that much sun coming into our next 7 days.
Yeah, this weekend we're going to have rain, and more rain.
You guessed it, more rain. Yeah, which it is unfortunate, but Tallahassee is in a severe drought. So even though it's going to rain on your parade or your plans, it is really good because I was on Landis today and the grass is actually dying on Landis. It's really sad to see because Landis is usually green and the sun is out, but
yeah. It was Landis Brown.
It was Landis Brown today. It kind of
green.
made me sad. I'm not trying to steal Dylan's thunder, though, because Dylan and I were the ones that went out to Landis together, and we are going to take a look at what we saw when we were out there right now with Dylan. Still fill you in on what happened, even though Dylan can't. There were 2 puppies out on Landis. Dylan didn't even get them on the camera, but there were 2 puppies out there, and they were enjoying Landis Brown, as we were as well. So maybe with this rain, though, in all seriousness, with this rain, it will do a lot for our plants and agriculture because really with the freezes and then the lack of rain, it's really hard to get the plants living out there.
Yeah, so it'd be nice, just make sure if you do go out to be careful as you're driving, make sure you have your lights on.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have your umbrella as well. Make sure
and be safe because it is hard to drive. We're used to driving in those sunny conditions, so some rain is coming. Also, I will have your trivia answer coming later in the show, and we will have your trivia answer right now coming to you from the studio.
Hey, thanks. I'm here in the studio. I'm actually looking at your trivia answer, and you can find your trivia answer on our Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather. We post it there every Thursday and answer it every Friday. So today being Friday, we're going to answer your question that was posted yesterday. And the question was, how many inches of precipitation did Tallahassee see since January 1st? So how much rain have we gotten? We've been talking a lot about this drought situation, wondering how much rain and how much is helping us. So we have 4 choices: 3.26 inches, 2.69 inches, 1.87 inches, and finally 4.10 inches. And the answer is 3.6. It's a good number. We are still in a drought from the lack of rain last year, so we're doing pretty well for the year. But when we compare it to how we've been in the last year, as in a year since, is from today 1 year ago rather than from today to January 1st, we're not doing that well. We definitely need this rain coming into this weekend. We saw some after the Super Bowl. We'll see next week's drought monitor on Thursday. So we're going to see an update when those numbers come out, the updated numbers after the rain from the Super Bowl is taken into account, and this weekend's rain is also going to be taken into account to that. So we're going to see an uptick. It's going to be better for our area. I was out on Landis and I saw all that dead grass. Not something great to see, but this rain will definitely help with that going into it. And you can always check your trivia question. We'll be here next week on Thursday with your trivia question at our Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather, and at our and we'll have your answer on Friday. But right now, I'm going to send it back out to the wall.
Thanks, Dylan. So today our high temps were a little bit higher than average. I mean, it was a little bit nice outside. We're getting those spring temperatures. Tallahassee at 69, Quincy at 66. So nice temperatures all around. Even though it was a bit overcast, we did finally see some cloud or the sun later on in the day. And our satellite radar, we are having some moisture sitting here with that warm front sitting right here. And we will see a cold front come through. It won't necessarily bring some of those colder temperatures, more than the rain that we're going to see later on as when I get to the 5-day forecast. And tonight's forecast, it's 60 degrees right now. The clouds will stick around early in the morning, but overall that. Later in the show, we have a washout for the week, rain all week, and we're above average temperatures. Right now, current temperature is 67, mostly cloudy. Our dew point's around 58, so it's a little bit muggy out. I can tell with my hair frizzing up all the time. Tonight's lows, we woke up with a nice temperature of 53 degrees, Quincy at 48, Thomasville at 52, so nice temperatures even though it was overcast, as I said. For satellite radar, I said also we are in that warm front coming through, and that cold front's going to come through later into Sunday and Saturday evening. Current dew points, we're in the 50s right now, 58 in Tallahassee, 59 in Monticello. So it is a little bit muggy outside right now, so be prepared for that. We're kind of swimming through the air. And for our temperature outlook next week, we're going to be above, there's 80% chance we're going to be above average temperatures just because today's average for the high was a 66, but as you saw, we were like in the 70s almost. So watch out for those higher temperatures. Tonight, we're going to be at 60. Clouds will stick around, as I said. So we're going to have some morning fog for tonight. So it's not really a nice time to go around outside and enjoy the temperatures or enjoy the stars if you want to go out. Tomorrow's forecast, we're at 77. That's hot, so you won't be wearing jeans anymore. Morning fog will linger, so make sure you're careful out on the roads as you go out. Rain will come into the afternoon, so be aware of that. So bring your umbrella as you go out for the day. Your 5-day forecast, as we said at the desk, rain, rain, and more rain. But these temperatures are pretty nice. We're going to get rid of the jeans, get rid of the jacket. 77 on Saturday, 75 on Monday, 77 on Tuesday. And our lows are pretty nice too, in the 60s. 60 on Tuesday and 60 on Wednesday. So make sure you bring your umbrella with this rain, but also enjoy these temperatures since we're not going to have our jackets anymore. We're not going to wear our jeans. And I'm going to send it over to AJ.
Yeah, let's take a look at the southeast here if we zoom out a little bit. Tallahassee and much of the southeast is experiencing that cold front that is moving through as it starts to get up there in Little Rock and Tupelo. You can see that much of our region is cloudy right now. There are not very many sunshines on this map. I'm only spotting 2, and that's in Orlando, who's sitting at 77, and Key West, who's sitting at 77. I guess they're living up to the name of the Sunshine State, but I can't imagine us living up to that name as the weekend progresses. Tallahassee sitting at 67 right now, Wilmington up there at 52, Savannah at 59, and they are getting some precipitation as we speak. That's satellite and radar. As that cold front moved through earlier this morning and last night, our precipitation got out of the region, but those clouds did stick around. It was a cloudy day out there for most of the morning, but then those clouds did start to move through our area, and it actually ended up being a pretty nice day out there. The current dew points, Tallahassee sitting at 58, Orlando at 66, Miami down there getting pretty muggy at 68, and Key West at 71. These dew points are a little higher and it's feeling a little bit muggy out there. That's due to that high pressure system that moved through our region last night, and that's producing those counterclockwise winds that's bringing in some moisture off of the ocean, and that is what's raising our dew points. That 24-hour dew point change, Tallahassee 22 degrees higher than it was yesterday at this time. Savannah 16 degrees higher than it was at this time yesterday. And Montgomery 23 degrees higher than it was at this time yesterday for their dew points. So it is definitely getting muggy out there. Girls' hairs are going to start frizzing up. You can go ahead and put away your chapstick because it's going to remain muggy out there throughout much of the weekend as well. Current winds, Tallahassee sitting at 5 miles per hour out of the north, and as I was saying earlier, these winds are coming from that high pressure system, so we can kind of see this clockwise rotation in our winds as we get to Savannah at 6 miles per hour, Atlanta at 9 miles per hour out of the southeast. And we are talking about rain for much of the show tonight. That's going to be our theme because it's coming. We are expecting 2 inches through this region of the southeast, and Tallahassee is expecting to get some rain starting tomorrow night, moving into Sunday morning. It's going to be a soggy weekend and a soggy early to the beginning of our next week. So if you're going outside, make sure to always pack your umbrella and keep your raincoat handy. Tonight's forecast, Orlando is going to be sitting at 65, Tallahassee at 60, New Orleans over there getting to 65. These temperatures are a little bit above average. They're actually pretty decently above average. I'm pretty sure we're usually down in the 40s during this time of year, but we're going to be sitting down there in the lower 60s, and much of the Southeast Georgia and South Carolina will be sitting in the 50s. Tomorrow's forecast, Miami down there at 83, Orlando at 84. These are some pretty high temperatures, much higher than our average. I know that we're usually in the upper 60s for this time of year, so we could be pushing 80 degrees tomorrow here in Tallahassee. But as the day progresses, we are going to be seeing those rain chances increase as well. So if you're heading out, make sure to have your umbrella and your rain jacket. Savannah at 72, Atlanta at 63, and Montgomery at 69. Those temperatures are a little bit lower than Tallahassee because they're going to be starting to see the effects of that cold front moving through their region tonight into tomorrow. And now I'm going to send things over to the lab with Dylan to talk about the Olympics.
Hey, so what does South Korea and Florida have in common? Well, it's cloud cover. The Olympics started this morning, actually. This morning at 6 a.m. our local time, 8 p.m. South Korean time. And they saw a lot of clouds the last 12 hours. We're going to put this into motion. The cloud coverage is kind of stuck around throughout most of the day. They did have a little gap in Pyeongchang, but clouds stuck around. Luckily, there was no rain today. So for the outdoors events, those people walking to the opening ceremony of the Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, they didn't have any rain trouble, so looking very good for them. As we get into the high and low temperature forecast for tomorrow for Pyeongchang, for all you athletes competing out there, they have a mix of indoor and outdoors events. We've already had some events like curling go on. They're going to see some pretty cold temperatures. AJ Willie actually told us that this is one of the coldest opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics ever on record. So you're going to see temperatures of about 31 dropping into the lows of 8 degrees in the Olympic Stadium. You see very cold temperatures, drastically different to what we're seeing here. So Winter Olympics, you're going to expect these cold temperatures, and this is good for those winter sports. So definitely great. Going into the next 12 hours, though, what it's going to look like out in South Korea, it's going to see kind of dry, spotty showers, but nothing too crazy. But hey, we're going to send it back out to the wall to look at our nation, the US of A.
Thanks, Dylan. If you want the cold weather like it is in South Korea, you will definitely like the weather up in the northern plains, where it is 9 degrees in Minneapolis and 27 in Kansas City. And you can actually spot there's a front right here. And ahead of the front, it is much warmer compared to the northern plains, with 62 in Memphis, 67 here in Tallahassee. But again, behind it, it's much colder. Again, that shows you the front again, where ahead of it, it's much warmer compared to this time yesterday, with 12 degrees in Memphis. And again, it's colder with a 45-degree drop from this time yesterday in Lamar, Colorado. Now, there's the cloud cover associated with that cold front, and there is some snow associated with that in Chicago and Detroit. They've been getting a few inches of snow, but it's pretty normal for them. But we do have a warm front moving up the southeast, and as a result of that, and AJ pointed out earlier with the amount of rain expected this weekend, there are flash flood watches posted for northern Alabama, northern Georgia, and eastern Tennessee. That does include Birmingham, Atlanta, Knoxville. They're expected to get 2 to 3 inches of rain this weekend into early next week. And up towards the Missouri area and into Iowa, they have winter weather advisory due to that snow. And up here towards Minneapolis, they have wind chill advisories for the very, very cold temperatures. Along with those winds, it's going to feel much colder than it actually is. Here's another look at the snow behind that cold front here in Chicago and in Detroit. They've been getting a few inches, as I said, but it's pretty manageable for northerners. Now let's take a look at the warm front down here at the southeast. You can see some rain associated with that in Hilton Head, north of Savannah, but nothing much. They are going to get more rain, though, this weekend. Now, for airport delays, Detroit, due to snow, has 163 minutes of airport delays. But for tonight, very cold across the northern tier with -4 in Minneapolis. And with the warm front moving through, it's going to be in the 60s and 50s for a lot of the southeast. And for tomorrow, the rain will make its presence felt across the southern tier of the country, and the northern tier of the country will be cold. Now let's send it off to Sydney with a look at our local forecast.
Thanks, Michael. I think everyone here in North Florida can be thankful that that snow is staying to the north of the United States. As for the current conditions, we are seeing cloud cover across the entire southeast. So this is a change from what we're used to. With the high pressure, we usually see sun, but there is some other things going on within this forecast that is causing some cloud cover for most of the area. Valdosta, Gainesville, and Orlando, though, are all seeing sunshine, so they can be thankful from their location that sun is shining through. As for our dew points, I would say pull out the kayak because the rain is going to be coming in and is going to be staying into the next 7 days. So driving to class is going to be a lot more difficult, and a lot of other activities. It's going to be time to pull out those raincoats and really get serious about this rain because our drought could be going away in the near future. Dew points we are seeing up almost breaking into the 60s, so put the chapstick away as well. It is not dry in our area anymore. Now, taking a look at the radar, we are seeing this warm front lifting, and that is why the high pressure really isn't getting to our location and causing the sunshine. The warm front is taking over and causing rain that is moving towards the northeast from the southwest. So we're going to see the cloud cover moving along as well, but as you can see right now, we are in a break of that cloud cover, so get outside while you can while we're still going to be seeing those clear skies. Now, taking a look at these winds, they are deceiving right now because they are going in a clockwise motion, which is indicating a high pressure system, but we're not seeing those fair and sunshine-like conditions that are usually associated with a high pressure. Light and variable, though, for much of the region. You can see Pensacola over here at 8 miles an hour and Valdosta sitting there at 7 miles an hour. So nowhere around the region is really gusting up a lot. Into our watches, take a look. So north of Montgomery, we are seeing an aerial flood watch, and that is due to the amounts of rain that are going to be dumping on the Alabama region and some of Georgia. And this is going to be caused by ongoing rainfall, so it's not going to be one rain that causes this flood watch. It is going to be an accumulation of the rain that we've been seeing, that they're going to be seeing into the next few days. Now into tonight's forecast, 60 degrees for St. Mark's and Tallahassee tonight. Fair night, but those clouds will be back, so the radar does see a blip in it, but it is not going to last throughout the rest of the night because those clouds will be back with vengeance and with some rainfall into tomorrow evening. So the rainfall, or tomorrow afternoon. So the rainfall begins tomorrow afternoon, and we are going to be seeing nice temperatures before that. 77 for most of the region, mid-70s. Down in Apalachicola, though, they are seeing 69 degrees. So fair conditions before that rainfall moves in, but the clouds will be ready to dump rain on us for the rest of the week. Now, Saturday and Sunday, we are noticing 40% chance of rain and 70% chance of rain. So if you are going to be going outside, don't forget that umbrella. Those highs sticking in the mid-70s. Mid-70s for the highs for the rest of the week, and we're not going to be cooling down much from any type of systems coming over. We are getting a nice cool front Saturday into Sunday, but take a look at those lows. We're not going to be changing in temperature much. But now we are going to take it off to Michael and AJ with a look at some sports.
Thank you, Sydney. Yeah, and as those temperatures start to climb into the mid-70s, lower 80s, we've got some more outdoor activities going on down in the Tallahassee region.
Yeah, and I know our favorite spring activity is golf, and the women's and men's team have started their season. The women's actually started today. They're at Seminole Golf Course. They have their intercollegiate tournament with various universities around the country. Beautiful today, but the weekend not so much.
Yeah, it actually, I would consider today to be absolutely perfect golf weather. You got some overcast, you got upper 60s. It's just perfect golf weather for today, but looks like as they get into tomorrow, they could be dealing with some rain out there. So
yep,
that's something to look forward to.
Men's golf team's also going to encounter rain because they're in Mobile. Monday, a lot of rain, but it will clear up by Tuesday. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, the men's team is going to be starting their season over there in Mobile on Monday and Tuesday. So if you're heading out there, potentially support the Seminoles. Make sure you pack your rain gear as well because it's going to be a wet one on Monday for sure.
Yeah, and if you want good golf weather, you have to go off to California. The men's PGA Tour, they're actually at Pebble Beach, Monterey Peninsula, Spio Glass for the Pro-Am this week. One of the best golf courses in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, California weather this time of the year is certainly nothing to complain about. They've got low 60s, up into the mid-60s. They got plenty of sunshine out there. It's just beautiful weather out there to watch golf, even go out on the beach. Anything that you want to do outdoor, they got perfect weather out there.
Yeah, and then next week they head down to LA where Tiger comes back, and we'll get into that next week. Yeah. But for now, let's send it off to the wall where Dylan has a look at Florida.
Hey, if you guys are looking for a golf course, look nowhere else than the state of Florida. It's looking great only in 2 places. We are named the Sunshine State, and we only have 2 sunshines right now. Orlando and Key West are the only places without clouds. Everywhere else, seeing a plethora of clouds. Not the best conditions if you like those clear skies and nice days. It's seem a little humid. We actually see some heat index later on. That's something you're not going to see really in February, and we're getting that now. Satellite radar, this blanket of clouds just engulfing our state as this moisture is getting kicked up on top of Florida. You're seeing it engulf the entire state with upper level clouds. Not the best conditions for your clear skies, and here's those current heat indexes. As the moisture comes into our area, heat index is going to rise for these southern parts because they're at such warm temperatures for this time of year. It is February, and we're seeing a heat index of 80, 83, 81. This is insane. This is winter, and this is not what you would expect, but it's Florida, and we don't really have winter. We have these moist, just not the best winters at all. If you like these dry conditions, you're not expecting it down in South Florida. It's warm and moist. See these winds, they're coming out of the east. The high pressure sitting over the part of the Carolinas and Virginia are kicking up all this moisture into our state and just making it seem cloudy, gross, and disgusting for the southern part. For us here, we're not seeing too bad as that front came through the other day, cleared out some moisture, and nothing too bad for us here. Watches and warnings, you have some small craft and gale warnings off the coast if you're going boating right now. Nothing too bad for those people. Current dew point though, look at this. This was drastically different a couple of days ago. This is all green. This isn't dry conditions. You're seeing in the 50s, the 60s, even the 70s in the dew point temperature. And the dew point indicates how much moisture there is in the state. And that higher dew point, the more moisture there is, and it's really engulfing our entire state right now. And at the upper levels, with that satellite radar, you saw all those clouds. That's due to this upper level moisture that's really generating a lot of those upper level clouds and making it feel gross and just moistury. It's not the best for most of the state, so for you folks down in South Florida, you're not going to have the best time. Looking at tonight though, you're going to see some cool temperatures out in the north part. In the southern part, you're not going to see much relief. You do get down to the 60s in Fort Myers, but for my home city of Miami, only 72. That's not wintertime temperatures. That's just like summertime temperatures. Not the best. And into tomorrow, you're going to see clouds stick around as this front and the more moisture just pumps into our area. We are going to see possibly some rain in Tallahassee and Pensacola. This rain's going to start making its way down throughout the state into Sunday. So it's more like an indoors days as this front moves down and brings in some moisture for us. Right now, I'm going to have AJ look at our local look. Just wrap up the show.
Yeah, let's zoom in there a little bit more into the Tallahassee region. So this morning, 3 a.m. we were down there at 54 degrees. I can't imagine anybody being out at 3 a.m. this morning, but it was a little cooler this morning. But as the day progressed and those clouds made their way out of our region, the temperatures did rise up into the upper 60s, almost reached the 70-degree mark today. So it actually ended up being a pretty beautiful day out there. Current temperatures around our region, Perry is our hotspot down there at 72. Oh, I'm sorry, St. Mark's is actually our hotspot at 73, but they are our only 2 locations on this map that are over that 70-degree mark. Tallahassee sitting at 67, as is Monticello. Thomasville up there sitting at 61. So we've got pretty mild temperatures around our entire region right now. And those current winds, Tallahassee getting 5 miles per hour out of the northeast. Valdosta sitting at 7 miles per hour out of the northeast. Not much going on with our winds right now in our region. The satellite and radar showing this rain getting through our region, moving up into the northern parts of Georgia and southern parts of South Carolina. But those clouds, they are still sticking around our region. They're going to remaining in our region, giving us a pretty good chance for some early morning fog tomorrow morning if you're heading out. And we're going to be looking for this rain up here in Alabama and Mississippi to be moving down to our region through much of the weekend. It's going to be a wet weekend ahead. As I was saying, it's going to be a wet one this weekend. So make sure if you're heading outdoors, make sure that you have your raincoat and your umbrella handy all weekend long. So as we move into tomorrow night, we have this cold front that's going to be moving through our region, which will give us a pretty good chance for some rain. And if we move into Saturday evening into Sunday morning, that cold front doesn't really seem like it can make a decision on what it wants to do. It's kind of just going to be hanging around our region for much of the weekend into early next week. And that is going to be giving us a lot of rain. It's just going to be a washout for the entire weekend is what it's looking like right now. So if you're making plans for the weekend, make sure that they are going to be indoors. Tonight, 60 degrees in Tallahassee. It's going to be a pretty muggy night. Those clouds are going to be sticking around, and as I said earlier, that is going to be giving us the chance for some morning fog if you're heading out tomorrow morning. The winds are going to be calm tonight, but those winds should actually remain calm for much of the weekend as this front passes through. Tomorrow, 77 degrees in Tallahassee. We got that 40% chance of rain as we move into the afternoon, and after that fog gets out of our way, we're going to be looking out for that rain, and once that rain stops, or once that rain starts, I can't imagine it stopping for much of the weekend. But for now, I'm going to send things over to the desk with Dylan and Michael to wrap up the show.
You know what, Dylan? How would I sum up tonight's show? I think we all know the answer.
Is it rain? Is rain
Yeah,
the answer?
it is rain.
I mean, it's going to be a rainy weekend. Seems like a good weekend for a movie. Seems like a good weekend to stay indoors and study a little bit.
Yeah, I think Saturday morning is honestly the best part of the weekend, and Jake and I are heading out to the golf course Saturday morning, so we're taking advantage.
There's our 7-day. We have a 3 out of 7 puddle ducky forecast. We got rain consistently on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and into the morning on Wednesday.
But as I've been saying the whole week, we need it.
We need it.
Yeah.
We've been talking about drought. But, I mean, the rain is not a good thing for outdoorsy people, but it is good for our plants so we can keep our outdoors fresh and green.
Yeah, and it's also good for the golf courses. And we didn't show you the live report, but if you saw Landis Green, there was actually a huge patch of brown grass there, so that just tells you we definitely need this rain.
Yeah, there's no downsides to this. We're going to get different types of weather every week, and this is not the best type of weather, but it is something we need, and it is definitely different than this cold, clear sky days that we saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, one of the perks of that 7-day, though, look at those temperatures. 70, almost cracking 80 on Thursday.
Yeah, we're staying consistent, though, so you're not going to have to put the sweater away and pull it back out, but you are going to need your rain jacket. But,
Yeah.
hey, you want to stay with us? Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com.
Yeah, follow us, like us on Facebook with facebook.com/FSU Weather.
We are also live streaming right now on YouTube. You can click that link or go to that link to watch us anytime.
And then also don't forget about the Instagram at FSU Weather. Hey, maybe take a pic of a rainy window, a wet window.
I mean, you can take some Instagram style pics with the filter and the mug.
Yeah.
You know, traditional. Want to get some likes? I don't know. Hashtag us FSU Weather.
Yeah, for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Michael Annan.
I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith.